okulima n'okulunda y'engeri yokka nga Uganda gye tugenda okutumbulamu ebyenfuna bya Uganda. Naye w'oba ng'oyagala okutandika okulima tosobola kukeera ku makya n'ogamba kakati ngenze kulima. Tulina empagi zaffe ezituyamba okubeera ng'onaafunamu bulungi nnyo mu kulima. Ekisookera ddala olina okubeerawo n'akasente giyite capital. Ekyokubiri olina okubeerawo n'abakuyambako tubayite abaakuguka mu kulima. Ekyokusatu akatale kyamakulu nnyo. Kati olwaleero tukyaliddeko aba Farmers Federation era nga wano wentudde ndi mu ofiisi y'omukulu muyite President of Farmers Federation. Tugenda kubeera nga tunyumyamu Farmers Federation kyeki. Mwe abalimi bangi mutawaana mugamba mulima naye temufunamu kubanga temumanyi gavumenti yabaterawo organizations ez'enjawulo ezigenda okubeera nga zibayambako okutumbula bye mulimye oba okubayambako okunoonya ensigo entuufu. Wano we tuli tukyaddeko mu ofiisi ya Mr. oba muyite Dr. Kamuganga era nga tuli mu ofiisi ye tugenda kubeera nga tunyumyamuko naye. Dr. Kamuganga yaani era Farmers Federation kyeki ekola ki mu Uganda, kitongole kya gavumenti oba kiri private. So leero nvuddeyo nzijje tunyumyemuko naye. Tomanya oba ng'obadde tolina interest mu kulima ojja kubeera ng'olabira ddala ky'oyagala okuyingiramu oba ky'oyagala okutandika engeri gy'ogenda okifunamu obulungi. Webale kwekumira Cross TV katukomewo tulina Dr. Kamuganga. To host you on Rest TV. My name is Margaret Baluka. You're live on Farming the Future on Rest TV. So today we have come to visit you and talk about farming exactly, and we realize that Uganda Farmers Federation is one of the organizations that have come up to support farmers in Uganda. So briefly tell us about yourself and then Farmers Federation. Yes.
First and foremost, thank you, Maggie, for preparing for this program, and Rest TV for giving me an opportunity to speak about myself as the president of the Farmers Federation and the Farmers Federation itself. My name is Dr. Dick Kamuganga. Once again, I'm the president of Uganda National Farmers Federation. I am, by birth, I come from the district of Mbarara, and that is in the sub-county of Bubare, in the village of Mutumu. And that's where I do my farming from. I do dairy farming and a little bit of crops, but I'm moving to a complete specialization using crops to feed the animals. I qualify to be called a smallholder farmer by international standards and a little bit of medium-sized farmer by Ugandan standards. I am privileged to be here as the president of an organization which was started in 1992 under the auspices of the Ministry of Agriculture. By then, the minister who was sitting is Honorable Victoria Sekitereko. This starting of the organization, I should qualify it to mean that this organization is mainly a farmers organization, by the farmers and for the farmers. But we do call Ministry of Agriculture as our mother ministry because the organization was started under the auspices of the ministry, despite the fact that it is a farmers organization. We resist being called a civil society, we resist being called private sector, we resist, but in actual sense it's a private sector organization. But the largest farmers body in the country, we have 3 million farmers registered across the country. We do exist in 89 districts. This was the original mother districts. Like my own home district, Mbarara, it has seen Isinjiro getting off. It has seen Ibanda getting off. It has seen Rwampara getting off. It has seen Chirhura getting off. So you have disintegration or redecentralization that has led to many districts multiplying around. So the previous, our presence across the country, we have been able to disintegrate in that part. I cannot call it decentralized. So we are yet to form some of the new districts into district farmers associations. That's why we are now in 89 districts out of the 146 districts across the country. But we shall be moving in the next 2 years. It's in our strategic plan to cover the entire nation. You seem to have a question. Go ahead.
Yes. I want you to be a little clear to farmers about Ministry of Agriculture and then Farmers Federation. And then also, I know that people that want to know that how long have you been in Farmers Federation? Yes.
First, for clarity,
yes.
This is not an official government body, but we work in partnership. We have a memorandum of understanding with the Ministry of Agriculture. As I said, we call it our mother ministry because they realized during the Honorable Victoria Secretarial's reign, they realized that you have to work with organized. They organize it. Wherever you go, you know that even Jesus said, the united will stand, the divided will do what? Will fall. So we do work in and complement the ministry's work. We have four main a comparative advantage compared to the ministry, compared to other bodies. That is, first, mobilize ourselves, organize ourselves into groups, and then empower in partnership with others, empower ourselves. So those are the core functions of our organization. So to answer your question precisely, this, again, I repeat what I said, this is the farmers' organization by the farmers and for the farmers, formulated by the farmers in 1992 as a result of the competitions that they had gone through, which were organized by the Honorable Victoria and her ministry. They went to Denmark, Netherlands, and when they returned, they recognized, they found that actually outside, successful agriculture is done by organized teams, organized along the value chain, organized along the enterprises, organized along the subsectors. You will not go in Europe, you find the farmers in livestock, they are organized along that subsector, and crop, they are organized along that subsector, and together they have national. There is a National Farmers Union in the United Kingdom and Ireland and the United States. So when our farmers came after that exposure, they realized there was a need to form this body. And they sat on 22nd of January at Corin Hotel and with a representation from all the districts in Uganda. They formulated the Uganda National Farmers Association. It began as Uganda National Farmers Association, and Dr. Nsamba from Central Region was its first president. A prominent farmer from here in Mpigi, Greater Mpigi, and he was the first president. And then later on, along the way, around 2000, we evolved into a federation because it was necessitated by the changes that were happening, that it becomes a federation of autonomous farmers organizations. And as a result, we have 4 categories of members. The mainstream is the district farmers associations. I came here. I will tell you that I will give details. We are the most democratic institution in the country. we have a bottom-up approach, not a top-down approach. You can't come here if you are not coming from the village.
Yes.
So we have a structure that begins at the village. They
That's
are.
why I had to ask you.
Yeah,
How long have you worked with them?
Yeah, absolutely. So I would answer that question, but let me tell you the structure that where I come from. My village is Butumo, where my farm is. So in there, I am the chairman of my village executive committee, and I was elected as a delegate to go to the parish. And the parish, we have a parish executive committee composed of 9 people. Who are selected from different villages. We have 12 villages in the entire parish. And then 37 villages in the entire parish. So within the parish, we elect every 5 years, we elect people to go to the sub-county. And the sub-county, all the parishes, delegates elect, usually there are 3 delegates. We have a man, a woman, and a youth. And they come and elect whoever chairs the sub-county executive committee. And then the sub-counties within the district, they send 3 delegates to the districts. That is the woman, man, and the youth. And then at the district, those sub-counties, delegates elect the chairman of the district farmers association. So I came from the village up to the district to become the chairman of Mbarara District Farmers Association. And we will be having another election, though I don't need I don't want opponents. I would like to pass unopposed, but we will have an election in next year in January, February for my second term. Now the districts send delegates for elections at the national level. And this happened in 2017, in September. I came in as a delegate from my constituency, which is Mbarara district, and stood against other candidate who is on current member of parliament for Maokota, Maokota South, Honorable Joseph Sekabito. We contested here, and I was able to defeat him and come in. So I've been here for the last 3 years as the president, and but in terms of how long I have been in the organization, this is a 23-year journey. I started as a youth representative from Makerere University. Then after graduating, I became a youth representative on the board of the federation, the National Executive Committee, from Makerere University Farmers Association. We do have farmers associations in universities across here, and some from schools, from primary schools. So since the last 23 years, I've been a member of the organization.
Okay, since you're youth, you're not 23. It's a very tender age.
Yes.
Yeah? I want you to at least give the key points that inspired you at that age to stick. Okay, you may be that you grew up in a farming home or community, but I don't think that's one of the reasons why you came up with why you continued in farming. I want you to bring out at least the best key that inspired you.
Yeah. This is a very complex question, Maggie.
Yes.
First, the foundation was laid by my parents. I have watched our farm where I grew up, where I was born, as it was the bank account of my mother and my father for everything. So I never saw my father going to the bank to open a bank account. So the farm was the bank account for my parents. And this is where we got the school fees, the home care, everything else. So in other words, the conspiracy was started by whether to become a farmer by my parents. Number two, the complex part of it is that when I came to the university, I studied agriculture economics. But when after my second and third degree, I have a PhD in economics. My second and third degree was in development economics, and I got interested in what can get people out of poverty. If you have listened to Nelson Mandela, is attributed to have said the shortest possible path for out of poverty on the African continent is through education. So after you have attained education, to remove all the masses of poor people, after India, I think we have the largest proportion of poor people in the world on the African continent. So what options are available for them? It has to be agriculture. Then the third point is in line with your theme, agriculture is wealth. I even go further to say farming is wealth. We do not have a lot of industries in Uganda. We do not have a lot of public service jobs in Uganda. So the 75% of work, employable people, workforce is employed in agriculture. So you got to think of how to get it better. Since it educated me, since it kept my parents alive, since I thought that the best contribution I can give with my life is to make sure that the agriculture sector is transformed and becomes a better sector that gives people opportunities to food and nutrition security, household incomes, and jobs, and then the expansion of our exports. If you look at our export basket, the largest exports, second largest is source of revenue is coffee. It is not an industrial product. No, it is coffee. Coffee is if you've been listening to Uganda's president, you will hear the three C's: coffee, cotton, and the teas and the like. So these are agricultural products. But now there is a fifth point, which is the most exciting. We are looking at digital agriculture. It is young people like you, not excluding me because I'm at the border moving into that crossing the border. It's so exciting to use the digital tools to create wealth, even if you have not gone to the garden. In your opening remarks, you said you need capital, you need experts, and then you need the markets. The young people using mobile phones, you can create data about a farmer, that is source of income. You can link the farmer to the markets, that is source of income and a commission. You can use this to link the farmer to the experts. Experts are not as many as the farmers. Uganda, Makerere University, and all the universities in the country have been training experts, but on average, they would be training experts on agriculture like 120. If they are training only 120, we are 44 million people. Do you think all these people will reach every farm in the country? We have around 7.5 family farms across the country. So, but almost, I think we have more than 27 mobile phones. You can use the mobile phone to reach every farmer. My mother, who is on the way coming to the hospital, unfortunately she's sick, she uses the phone to signal me when there is a cow at home which has a problem. I use the same phone to dispatch the resources that may need to get the vet. So use of digital technologies is the fourth reason why I wanted to come here and transform the agriculture sector. As we speak right now, we are in partnership, and I think we spoke when we first met. We spoke about this. We are going to move with Uganda Communications Commission. We're going to moving to extend the digital literacy to our farmers, to all the people that are working in the farming sector to ensure that we use this technology to advance agriculture sector and create wealth. I am 100% sure that we will create more jobs than any other sector, even if we have been traditionally at the top of job creation. In other words, we are the top creators of jobs, we are the top employer, top wealth creator in the country. That's the reason why I can't think, if I thought of another job, I would thought to do medicine, but my cousins and my brothers are there. So, and they think agriculture is dirty, but I'm showing them it's not necessarily dirty. It's a powerful wealth creation tool.
Actually, the reason why I wanted you to bring out those key points why you had to remain in agriculture, many people, those are from the background of farming, they don't like carrying this on as one of their activities. And I'm so happy that you brought it out very well. And now the other thing is, before we go in the break, or before we go in the break, I want you to give us some of the best roles that Farmers Federation play. Because you may find someone, because he had Uganda Farmers Federation, he brings the issues of Minister of Agriculture to Farmers Federation. Why? Because he or she did not get the real role of the Farmers Federation.
Bw'aba bireeta wano aba ali mutuufu. Omulimi omulunzi bw'aleeta ebimunyiga, anything that concerns them, nga bireeta wano ku federation, kubanga fe we are the voices of the farmers. Nakubulide, the Farmers Federation is an organization of the farmers, by the farmers, and for the farmers. Each sookera ddala, the first that we do, which is the role, is to be the voice of the farmers. Era we sit on a number of committees, policy committees, and on those policy committees we do take the views of the farmers for the policy makers to change policy to be favorable to the farmers. So critical role number one is to be the voice of the farmers. We do periodically collect views from the farmers. From our bottom-up approach we have given you is how I will tell you that the key players in the agriculture sector, Ministry of Agriculture, we are on the committees of all ministries of agriculture. OWC, which is we partner with OWC to make sure that the interests of the farmers are taken care of. NADS, we work with National Agriculture Advisory Services to ensure that the seeds and the like, most of the time we are supposed to be, but there is nobody or no organization that is 100% perfect. But our voices and the voices of the farmers on those platforms do reach. NARO, which is National Agriculture Advisory Research Organization, it does research. We sit on the board. We have a farmers representative on the board. As we speak right now, we're being invited to input in the budget policy process by the Ministry of Finance. So we got to put the interest of the farmers. When you hear in the national debate that we need to increase the budget for agriculture, we need to increase budget for extension, we need to give authentic inputs, we need to make sure that water for production, all these are issues that we take to government, to the ministry, to the policymakers. Not every farmer can go to the ministry. But when I knock to the ministers, who is my friend, Honorable Sempija, and his friend Helen for fisheries, his juniors, Honorable Wamirama, they listen because they know that I've brought the views of the farmers. That's representation. Yes. The second biggest role is what I have told you. We mobilize ourselves. From this, the story that Jesus told, the united will stand, the divided will fall. But because you have people who are in cotton, people who are in coffee, people who are in maize, people who are in rabbits, people who are in poultry, people who are in fisheries, agroforestry, all these, our principal role is to organize them. If you listen, it is very difficult to organize smallholder farmers who are the majority of our members. Yes. Each of them doing, you saw the president saying 4-acre model enterprise selection, which is going to bring more money. And I want to take this opportunity to commend Rest TV for choosing agriculture's worse as a theme, because you cannot continue to produce only for the stomach. Yes. But you need to produce for the pocket as well. So now, if you continue to choose to produce without selecting the enterprises properly, without knowing where the market is, without what the market needs, all these require organization. But organizing 7.5 million households is a very difficult. And somebody is saying, be on your own. Mm-hmm. If you go outside there, farmers are going to tell you, we do it on our own. Sometimes we see the extension worker, sometimes we don't. Even the organization that has been here for 28 years, we have not reached every farmer. So the purpose, the role of mobilization is very critical. The second, after mobilizing, you organize them. We have farmer groups that are specifically focusing on coffee, for instance, the most organized. We have the farmers who are focusing on dairy, not because the president is in dairy sector. We are very organized, of course, but still building our capacity. So voice is number one, mobilization is number two, organization into groups is number three, and then empowering. We have a department that is called Training and Advisory Services. Until the departure of the Dutch, because we have been trying to revive that, we used to give certificates called training people that would move from low level to high level, and which basically would be expertise on farm management. Blue certificate, yellow certificate, and green certificate that we trained what I would call human capacity development within the farming sector. So we have done, we do those. Now we have added digital literacy. We also do financial literacy. All these are what we call empowerment role. Then the fifth is coordination. The ministry is full of technical people. The group dynamics is limited. Even if there are departments that you will call farm development department, farm organizations, those come to us, and then we take them to the farmers. So we do the coordination of actors up to the farm level. We work hand in hand with Food and Agriculture Organization of United Nations, hand in hand with the World Food Program, which purchases with the private sector capacity, like Garuga, who purchase our output for sale. We work hand in hand with organizations like UNDP, including Makerere University. So we do the coordination platform, including the Office of the Prime Minister, the President's Office. I sit on the Presidential Economic Council as a matter of the fact that the farmers have to be represented on that body. So we do the coordination. Now, we are moving in a direction in which we are going to be providing market to our farmers. through a private wing, which is under formation under my leadership. We have started forming a private holding company by the Farmers Federation. You will be able to buy in shares if you wish to invest in the farmers. Farmers organizations outside will be able to buy in shares. We will hold, and under that holding we will have, we hold storage facilities, logistical facilities to support the integration of smallholder farmers, integration of a farmer into the agricultural value chain here nationally, regionally, and internationally. So to do business on behalf of the farmers such that we accelerate the theme, creating wealth out of agriculture. The other representation role is I am a board member of the East African Farmers Federation. This is the meeting that I was supposed to be on online. I represent our farmers here on the board on the East African Farmers Federation. I'm also participate in Pan-African Agricultural Farmers Organization, that is the continental body, and I'm an alternate board member at the World Farmers Organization. So we do represent the organization, the farmers, at international fora, national fora, and regional fora. So those are some of the things. But to begin with, whether the farmer outside there is wondering, first and foremost, I would advise the farmer who is in Nakaseke to go to Nakaseke District Farmers Association, register as a member. Second, if you can't write, invite us to come to your farm. We'll see what is on the ground. What advice can we do? What package can we do? We are going to be, in our next strategic plan, we are also going to be partnering with financial institutions to provide credit.
Like the SACCOs.
Yeah, like the SACCOs. We will be providing. SACCOs have a mode of provision of credit, but more for us will be in line with how we understand, because we can be able to tell that a ton of soybean is going to be selling at this market. And if we give you an interest rate of 1%, you should be able to pay either with your, because we are an off-taker, with your soybean, or you sell soybean somewhere else and bring. So we know the cash that is from the industry, because we are in the industry. Most of the SACCOs could be for any other reason, housing SACCOs, blah, blah, blah. But for us, as an agricultural enterprise, we study every enterprise: goat farming, bull fattening, dairying, soybean growth, rabbit growth. We follow each value chain so we can package the credit according to that, the dynamics within the job. It's more, because essentially not a profit driven, but an organization that is looking at empowering citizens to transform their lives.
We are still with Dr. Kamuganga, the president of National Farmers Federation. Abadde n'ebintu bingi byatuyitiddemu, emiganyiro oba si miganyiro naye roles National Farmers Federation gyetuukiriza. Kakati mu bintu ebingi byayogedde, ekisinza okunyumira kye kyakatale. Agambye nti baleeseewo omugaso gwa National Farmers Federation omulala ogw'okunoonyeza abalimi akatale. N'ekirala kye saagala mwerabire obanga gwe oli oyagala okujoininga National Farmers Federation, togenda kujja direct wano ku kitebe kyabwe eky'e Kampala, olina okudda ku district oregisteringe, bajje bakukyalire balabe ekiri ku ground oba balabe ennimiro yo nga bwetambula okuba joininga. Naye ng'ebintu byayogedde bibadde byamakulu nnyo binnyumidde, kubanga ekisingira ddala Abannayuganda ffe ng'abalimi ekisinga otutawaanya katale kyatayogeddeko kyekyensigo eri abalimi. Abalunzi tujja naye eri abalimi. akatale katutawaanya ogenda n'oteekamu amaanyi go mangi n'oteekamu akasente ko naye n'omaliriza nga tewali agenda kugula byokoze eki byosimbi oba newabeera waagula era agenda kujja kugulire ku kasente akatini kati nekyo Dr. Kamuganga njagala tunnyonnyole oba because my prayer is singa Minister of Agriculture evaayo ne tusetingira standards oba ne tusetingira price nga tumanyi nti kasooli ngendo yingira mu nnimiro okusimba kasooli wange we mukungulira kiro teka wansi wa 200 oba teka wansi wa nusu 100 naye tugenda ne tusimba kasooli ne weesanga ng'omuntu ali mu kugulako kasooli wa nusu 2 kiro ya nusu 2 ekintu ekyo kigenze nga kidemoralizing oba nga kimalamu abalimi amaanyi kati eno office yennyini gye ntuddemu kati gende briefly mu bulango bw'abakama baffe tukomewo tulina ebintu bingi ebyokunyumya naye tovaawo ekumire ku Rest TV. Mukulikeyo mukuwumula tukyali ne Dr. Kamuganga era nga ye President wa Farmers Federation bakolera wamu n'ekitongole kya Minister of Agriculture nabagambye nti tulina ebibuuzo nasitudde ebibuuzo by'abalabi era kyemanyi n'abalala gye bali naye ensonga lwaki muleeta at least mubeere aware nti gyali woba olina ekibuuzo kyonna agenda kubeera nga abawa directions omusomo mutuukirira oba n'abagamba mwenna mujja mu ofiisi ye simanyi. You're coming up with a strategy of market where you'll be buying products from farmers. Now, I had a thought as National Farmers Federation, can they come up with a standard price? Because there are farmers that are complaining. Right now we are heading into harvest season. Those of us who planted earlier, we are about to start harvesting and others are harvesting. But you find that maize, if you are buying hybrid, you buy a kilo at 10,000 and then someone is buying your kilo at 200. That is very, very less money and has discouraged a lot of farmers. What do you have to say about that?
Thank you. Thank you, Maggie, for that question. Nange ng'omulunzi w'ente z'amata akatale kanduma nnyo naye endowooza yitulimu kati yakwekolamu omulimu gw'okusolovinga ekintu kya katale k'ebirime ne products za livestock. It's kusookera ddala ku kya standard price eyo price fixing mu economics ekyo kisobola kubeerako standard fixing a price naye tugenda tukola na government kutegeera bw'oba olima kasooli kutuuka gw'ogikongolera otaddemu ssente meka eyo nga tukolagane ne government ne naffe n'omulimi eyo tuyinza kugarantinga price ya input cost. Kubanga oyinza kuteekako price ya 10 nga your standard yogambye abalimi nga the next day you come you find that the market is selling at 1,500. But what we have been advocating with government is to ensure that no product is sold below the cost of production, because you are not only killing the sector, but you are killing the farmer. You are getting the money from the farmer and donating it to the middleman or whatever. So our step number 1 is to ensure that every sector, every subsector, every value chain, we have numbers on the cost of production and the price should not go. Many here in Uganda have indicated For instance, maize, a kilo is produced at 450, depending on which region you're coming from. So selling below 450 kilo is taking away money from the farmer to the whoever is buying. So step number one is to get those numbers right. Step number two is to negotiate with government. We've been negotiating with government on price stabilization fund. And price stabilization fund goes with other initiatives like warehouse receipt system. So where farmers, most of the time they want to run to sell off, even if without knowing, because of the pressure from the family needs, school fees, medicine, rent, even food, etc. They want to rush to sell. So what the price stabilization fund and together with warehouse receipt system allows you to be given money, and then we store the food, the stuff on your behalf until when the price is sufficiently better that we can be able to pay. It's like giving a treasury bond or government bond or something like that. That's kind of receipt bears amount of money of unanticipated. Since we are a voice of the farmers, we ensure that that voice is transmitted into a better price for the farmer. So building market systems. And here we hope that the government will listen, will join us, but otherwise we are calling private investors to come in. By mid next year, this is going to be our top agenda. It's my administration's top agenda. Provision, solving the end of the chain, the market. Because if we don't get the incentives, market is one which provides the incentives. If we don't get incentives right, then we will remain in subsistence. But we are also, I am reviewing NDP 3, the implementation plan, National Plan for Development 3, NDP 3, I'm reviewing on the sector for agriculture to give our views to the Minister of Finance, Minister of Agriculture, OWC, Prime Minister's Office, on where our focus should be. And one of the areas that we know that NDP3 is emphasizing, and which also OWC and the President's Office emphasizing, agro-led industrialization. You cannot lead industrialization in agriculture without marketing properly. And if you market properly, you can be very sure production will take place.
Yes.
Absolutely, absolutely to do that. So through our private holdings and through partnerships with other private sector and through off-taking from our farmers and keeping, especially value addition and the like, we hope that this new agenda will create more opportunities within the agriculture sector, specifically on the market. And if we get more individual investors in there, we do believe that there will be many things that will take place. First and foremost, jobs will be. I'm not necessarily a fan. I do not know. I've studied economics for 22 years. But I don't know an economy that has been developed by foreigners. We got to step in forward and invest in agriculture. If you look at the money, I think no longer going there to the bars and the like, where people spend of course, you can say they are in the bars, they eat muchomo. In the bars, they drink beer, which is coming from sorghum and the like. But you can also look who are the companies that have beer companies, how many are they? So we have creating an investment vehicle that allows you to invest money in the smallholder farmer to buy their produce, to add value, to run the storage facility infrastructure properly, the cooling system, the cooling value chains properly, will create opportunities for your job, your cousin's job, or your daughter, or your son, and the like, instead of that being taken by somebody else. and that includes even our common friend Richard, who is into promotion of coffee drinking here domestically. So there will be a multiplier effect, both on the jobs and the income through our initiative.
Okay, and also there's some activity I saw Minister of Agriculture is carrying out. I don't know if you're aware about it. They've been trying to give out seeds and fertilizers. But I have done some little research about the seeds and fertilizers they're giving out. You find that they give farmers that are a bit ignorant about what they're receiving. I hope you get me clearly. I'm not saying that it's bad, what they're doing is bad, but they're giving people that are not ready of what they're giving them. And this has caused, is it wastage? As National Farmers Federation, since you're working together with Minister of Agriculture, how are you helping these farmers? At least, you know, when you apply badly your fertilizer, it will not work for you. You have to have knowledge about what you're doing. Yeah. So, as National Farmers Federation, how have you come in to help these farmers? Yeah.
What I mentioned digitization. We are going to digitize all the farmers, but in digitizing all the farmers, we will be empowering them, teaching them how to use their digital skills. What this will help, through your computer, through where I'm seated here, I can run through my eyes of entire country of the 7.5 million farmers on the top of my laptop. But as long as they have a smartphone, and they are registered, profiled, we can be sure to provide what is demanded. A farmer he will be taught to demand the seed that he needs.
Okay,
yes.
Icto is very good, but I'm talking of my village farmers.
Yes,
in Mutumba.
Yes, we are going.
Someone was given 20 kilos of maize and a bag of fertilizer. But it's like, I don't know when I don't know when to apply the fertilizer, I don't know how to apply.
Yes.
Because some of these farmers are a bit local, have not abused, but they're not really into the dicto.
The functionally literate, yes.
Though the youths, it's okay, we can teach the youths, because right now if you see some youths that are doing the backyard, they know what to do, and they're really benefiting out of this. But now I'm talking of the rural members.
Yes, this is what I was, development is a gradual process. If you look at as a teacher, I will give an example. China 40 years ago was as poor as us. And yes, until when Deng Xiaoping was the Prime Minister 78, it was the President, whatever you want to call it, President of China, the lead of China from 78 up to the 90s, and launched the 4 development programs. Gradually, it's now that China has started to become. So we have learned lessons, and the lesson number 1 is organizing and empowering. So I do know these inappropriate seeds, not necessarily the right seeds, is the main critic that comes from anybody who is talking about OWC, Operation Wealth Creation. It's the main complaint that is coming to NADS seeds, etc. It is the main complaint that is coming to ACDP, Agriculture Cluster Development Program. So we got to go to the root of the problem. And the root of the problem is basically, it starts with the knowledge of the farmers. You have to understand the dynamics across the country. They are moving to a parish model of development, championed by the coordinator of OWC, that is General Salim Sari, moving the services, parish level input service delivery centers, and the parish level extension workers. They have done up to 60% success rate, putting sub-county level extension workers. But My view is actually even a farmer. I am not a vet, I am a doctor of philosophy in economics, but I find myself doing more veterinary work than the trained vet because the exposure, daily exposure to the animal is limited. So what do? You train better, you empower the farmer himself through the peer-to-peer agenda. And in this training, we've been arguing, especially after the lockdown, we've been arguing with main agencies that get in touch at the production level, that is OWC and NADS. We've been in touch with them and focusing on, please, up to the village level, make sure there is a farmer's representative that is going to identify a nucleus farmer, or they call a village agent. We don't like the village agent because farmers were not village agents, but we are peer leaders. We have peer farmers who are leaders who can teach what you call opinion leaders in society, politics. So somebody who can demonstrate that planting in line of the beans is more favorable than random planting. Somebody who can demonstrate that harvesting early, it will save you from molds and the like and aflatoxins, drying your beans properly, drying your maize properly, somebody who can do that. And targeting that person to be the peer leader in that village. We have not many villages in the country to worry about, 70,000 villages. If you look at the statistics, you follow the statistics of Electoral Commission, we can have digital satellites on 70,000 villages across the country that permits us to say, Maggie is the leader in Nankuma, where you said, Kamganga is the leader in Mtumo, and people gather there. You have seen people just coming for
campaigns.
Leave alone the campaigns. This village meetings of where you are going to bury soil, blah, 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 those kind of stuff. So you can also come to learn business development solutions on your farm. How to keep your records, how to save your money, where are the markets, and how you can produce. We are working in the dairy industry with the Dairy Development Authority to promote cottage industries at village level. Out of 70,000 villages, if we had 70,000 cottage industry, each supporting 5 employees, that would be sufficiently enough for us to clean the unemployment within the country, but also produce quality products that can be exported. So what we ask government, what we ask the citizens of Uganda and the farmers is to support our plan in the next strategic plan. You will see how transformation is going to be. So digitization is one of the tools. We have it, if you have some time, you can visit Unife ICT for Farmers, which is developing. We would have a platform. If you are in your village in Nakaseke and you have produced 10 kilograms of maize, through your phone you can log on our dashboard. We can congregate in Nakaseke because we shall have a logistical network across the country so that we buy from you, store for you, and then return the difference for your personal wealth creation.
Wow, this is so beautiful.
Yeah.
Okay, you're into dairy,
Yes.
which is very beautiful.
Yes.
But there are some crops I want us to look at. For example, Uganda,
I am president for all farmers, including
but I see you love dairy so much.
including as I said, this is where I grew up. I grew up in a dairy farm. But go ahead.
Okay, I want us to look at. You see, coffee looks as the backbone of
many households in the country, over 1 million.
Also, the backbone of Uganda's economy. We really look at coffee as something that is Actually, I think we are among the best leading exporters of coffee. Let's look at coffee as Uganda Farmers Federation. What have you done for the farmers, especially those ones who are specifying in coffee?
Until recently, when we started to, every organization evolves. We are starting to shift away from providing advisory services to actually engaging in the development, the commercial development of value chains. Until recently, we were organizers, mobilizing our district farmers associations, mobilizing the farmers around better production of coffee. That is using good agricultural practices, training them how to produce. But we found that actually production doesn't solve poverty problems. You produce, then a middleman comes and takes.
Actually, the middleman.
Yes, benefits more.
I think you saw that picture.
Yes.
Where the farmer was struggling a lot, and the government was just holding a little.
Yes.
The farmer is the one carrying the big rock, and the middleman was enjoying.
Absolutely.
Yes,
this is what has been farming. But we do now know that middlemen nowadays are numbered. They got to evolve and find other occupations rather than exploiting the farmer. Because we are, like you have seen in Confident, moving towards empowering a farmer to own the value chain. We are moving
by themselves. Yes,
so we are moving into that direction and working together with UCDA, working together with the ministry, if you look in the villages right now, still the middlemen are still dominating. You will find that there are many coffee processing.
Middlemen have discouraged a lot of
absolutely. So, but we are going to be moving into a direction of empowering, because a farmer is an investor. But he has been losing his investment to somebody else. Now we want to take it back to the farmer himself. Controlling the 60% that have been controlled by the middlemen, returning. If you are not into that is owning the value chain, the beginning was the question of mobilization, organizing them. Because the middleman comes here, picks a canter, goes and packs all the bags, sun-dries them, and then they're like. But if we begin
they even go ahead to buy the flower.
Yes.
They
so
wait for the garden when it's flowering, like worms.
Yes. So, but if we have and the new venture we are entering in household where resist system and credit system. If a farmer has flowering and has a problem, we have profiled you, because you are not, unless you are a bad behaved farmer, you don't want to keep, you want a reliable partner. And a reliable partner, we profile you, we know how much you're going to be producing, we provide you with the inputs, the fertilizer, everything that you need. So
what is required for your coffee
to come out there. Yes. And then we know when this is going to be maturing. We know you are a member of us. You are a member of us, all of us who do know. So we provide you the resources that you need all through, because it's a matter of time that we will get returns on that. And it's owned by the farmers and for the farmers, by the farmers themselves. So there is no cheating in what we will be doing. We know that storing 10 tons of coffee costs this much, and these are the number of farmers that have contributed, and the off-taker is going to come at this. If we are not going to off-take the coffee, then we process it in partnership, because what you note in NDP3, the government is committed to processing from here. Yes. It's a concept of import substitution. So the voice that has been lacking previously is what is going to come to be able to say. But we know that Ugandans are very difficult to convince to do a common good. That's what we worry about that much.
Leero tubadde ne Dr. Kamuganga era nga tetugenda ssukawo wano program waffe egenda okukoma. Mbadde n'omwami Ken nga yali ku kamera. Sajja mukambwe nnyo. Pozi Edith njagala okutumirako Nabachwa Edith, my editor. Mchalo munene akyasinzeyo bunene ku Rest TV. Pozi the entire team ya Rest TV, thanks for the great work. Obadde olaba program Farming the Future. Amanya Margaret Baluka. Tomisinga ku Saturday, every Saturday kwetuli kuva sawa 5 paka 6. Go like our YouTube channel Rest TV, look out for Farming the Future, Agriculture is Wealth, and then also Facebook. Don't forget to like our page Rest TV. Mubeere bulungi mwelaba.